covering sports. Well, you cover sports.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
Yeah.
Why are you in the locker room more than anybody else?
I don't know.
Because we cover sports.
How'd you get all of your sources?
I cover sports.
Yeah, right.
I go to the Senior Bowl, right?
Every person that I've ever had that will tell me anything off the record and then that I can kind of share on the record, I've met going to things.
Yes.
And establish a relationship going to things.
Right. Be seen.
Yeah.
Be seen.
Yeah. And in fact, early on, young broadcasters out there, I've told interns this a bunch, be seen, not heard. Your job is to be seen and not heard for a while.
Yep.
You earn the right to be heard in this business. Okay. Keep the text coming in. It's all don't be that guy or gal on a Wednesday, so you can send those texts our way as well. I want to talk about salary cap casualties and what will happen here when the new league year starts coming up in March for the Broncos and every other team in the NFL. So Nick Kosmider has a piece out right now at The Athletic about players that could be cut. Really, it's just two that he focuses in on. But we're talking about damn near $10 million here, Cease. First up is P.J. Locke. Releasing P.J. Locke saves them $4.2 million.
Okay.
They already have hinted at, and Sean said as much to Kay Adams when she asked about the pecking order of positions they need to get this offseason. He mentioned safety. Every single mock draft out there talks about how the Broncos are going to be looking for a safety. Some of them think it's such a need that they have a safety coming to Denver at number 20. Now, you and I aren't on board with that, but does this just, more writing on the wall that not only do they need a safety or going to get a safety, they're not happy with P.J. Locke's play so much so that they're willing to release him to save $4.2 million.
Yeah, and the unfortunate thing with P.J. Locke is availability is an ability. Mm-hmm. And when Devin Key's out there, it's trouble.
Yeah.
Why is Devin Key out there? Oh, P.J.'s banged up again. I like P.J. Locke a lot. Talk to him in the locker room on a weekly basis. Mm-hmm. He's one of the headiest players in the NFL in terms of understanding concepts and knowing where to be and always staying ahead of the play. But he only has $1 million in dead money. Only $1 million in dead money.
Yeah.
And with a $5.1 million cap hit, you know what that means?
He gone.
See ya. Now, when we talk about this, I guess we should preface it what would they do with the extra money? So they can get $4 million from PJ. Let's go through and let's keep adding this up.
Ooh, okay.
Because if you add it up hey, they got $10 million. All right. What do we get for $10 million? What do you get for $10 million? Right?
Yeah.
That's part of the conversation. We can't talk cap cuts and then they got money, everybody. They already have money.
Well, I have an idea for this $10 million because you get the 4.2 out of PJ Locke. Safety,
right.
You're losing a starter. That's a starter, right?
Yeah.
Well, the next player up that's suggested by Nick Kosmider, you save more money, but it's also a starter. And this player is coming off of a significant injury. I'm talking, of course, about Alex Singleton.
Right.
No guaranteed money. The team saves $5.6 million by releasing him, only a $1.3 million hit in dead money. Singleton is running, says the Denver Post, in his ACL recovery. He's going to try to be ready for training camp. Singleton said July 15th is the day I'm kind of targeting. That's 3 months.
Right.
9 months from when he tore it against, it was Tampa Bay, I think, right? Week 3?
Week 3, yeah, because he missed the Jets game.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
week
right.
4 out in West Virginia with a brace on his leg. And 9 months, dude, that is super optimistic. That's Russell Wilson blind optimistic. Everybody, everything's great, guys. 9 months?
Dude, that's literally, I promise I'm not taking a shot here. That's half of the time it took Jamal Murray to recover from the same injury. And this dude plays football.
Yeah. Football injuries usually are 12 months to 18 months. Used to be 18 was
That was the minimum.
minimum.
Mm-hmm.
You are not the same. Terry Allen would shred his knee, run for 1,000 yards, shred his knee, miss a year, run for 1,000 yards, shred his knee, miss a year. That happened multiple
That's just
times.
what he did.
Back in the 90s. That's exactly what he did for multiple teams.
Yeah.
Today, 12 months is the number. So he may be back in 9, but he's not the same until 12. And if that's the case, you're starting training camp and he's limited. He's not playing in the starter, by the way, not playing in the preseason. And then you have to discuss, because you'll start him on camp on the PUP. I've seen the future if Alex Singleton is here. And that's a huge if. You start him in camp on the PUP, which means you can start the regular season on the PUP, which means he can miss the first 6 weeks. Mandatory. Mandatory. Has to miss that time. So now you're week 7, so you get Singleton for $6 million for 10 weeks instead of $6 million for 17 weeks. What are you doing? You're probably making the decision to either move some of that money around. I wouldn't say extend him. Like, you're going to have some painful decisions. If you're George Paton, get ready for some painful decisions. And if you're a Broncos fan, hey, you love PJ Locke. I love PJ Locke. Love Alex Singleton. We talk about hair tips together.
Yeah, right.
My hair's better than his. But, like, we talk about hair tips. Guess what? I might not be talking to PJ Locke and Alex Singleton in the locker this year.
That might be the case. Well, and you asked me, all right, there's about $9.8 million. Let's round up for easy math.
$10 million.
And go $10 million. Well, we know they need to address inside linebacker. We know there's an inside linebacker out there that's going to look for a lot of money that has ties to Sean Payton. So if you have to outbid a team, perhaps even the Philadelphia Eagles for Zach Bond's services, $10 million will go a long way. I'm not saying all of it goes to Zach, but there's a little chunk of change that you can use to entice him to come to the Mile High
All
City.
right, what do we do on this show?
We tell the truth.
And it's not meant to make you feel good. You want to play for Nick Sirianni or you want to play for Sean Payton?
I want to play for Sean Payton.
Really? You? If you're Zach Bond?
Oh, I thought I was Zach Bond.
Oh, okay.
Case. Yeah. Me, personally, I'd probably still want to play for Sean Payton.
Okay.
Nick Sirianni ain't got no Jordan deal. So I'd probably still pick Sean Payton.
Okay, all right. Would you want to, and you can make this personal if you'd like.
Well, hold on. Can I ask you a caveat?
Yes.
Vic or VJ. Vic or VJ. And you're Zach in this one. And,
Yeah.
and Vic just made Zach the most money he's ever going to make in his whole life.
We got our answer. He's not leaving Philadelphia, everybody. We got our answer. Because I was going to retort with you with this. If it's Vic or VJ, it's Vic because he just made you the guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Would you want to go play for someone that's a little hard to play for, which is fine. It's football. Yell at me. You're an overweight man and a windbreaker. You're yelling at me. I'm fine. Okay?
Yeah.
But would you want to go somewhere where they didn't use the right way?
No. And especially if you're Zach, you're like, I just did that for 4 years.
I know that's happened to me personally in my career.
Certainly happened to me.
You know, I don't want to go where someone's going to not use me the right way or not use me enough or kind of ignore my skill set, right?
Thank God for this job.
So if you're Zach Bond, ZB, a different ZB. If you're Zach Bond, do you want to look at Sean Payton and be like, why didn't you get it right with me? You know, I had to toil and then I had to go somewhere. And then Vic is like, I got meatballs and pasta. And he made you an all-pro.
Well, you know exactly what Sean goes. Yeah, that Greg guy didn't know what the hell he was doing over there. I'm sorry you had to work with him.
Okay, here's another little tale. So Zach Bye was talking about Brandon Cooks the other day. They were talking about wide receivers.
Yeah.
And he's like, I think Brandon Cooks. And so I got home because you don't text and drive.
Yeah.
I was very upset. But I got home and I just texted ZB and I said, Z, just on the tip, like on the pro tip. I have heard that guys like Mark Ingram and Brandon Cooks aren't real big fans of Sean Payton.
Oh, really?
So we can talk about it, right? We can talk about it and we can say, man, and Brandon, you could get Brandon Cooks back. That'd be awesome. Yeah, that sounds good. But from what I've heard, and again, from going to things, got pretty good sources, maybe, just maybe, Brandon Cooks is not on Christmas card list of Sean Payton and vice versa.
And vice versa is probably the more important part.
So with Zach Bond, I don't yet know. But guess what I'm going to do in Indy?
You're going to find out.
When I'm in the combine, I'm going to talk to my Eagles guys, and I love Howie Roseman. And I'm not talking to Howie, just full disclosure. Howie is not my source. But I love Howie. And I know a lot of people around him. And I want to find out, like, what was Zach Bond's relationship with Sean Payton?
I like that.
What are the chances you could lure him away? Because if you say if it's Vic or VJ, it ain't VJ.
It ain't VJ.
Sorry.
No, it's not.
If you're Zach Bond, you go with the guy that got you an all-pro. You go with the guy that got you paid. That's almost a thank you.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm staying in Philly. Let's go do it again.
You know who I'm loyal to? The people that make me the best version of myself. That's who I'm loyal to.
That's square biz.
Yeah, 100%.